Okay, full disclosure, that is the first time I've actually made a video where I actually speak to an audience. Feeling a little bit foolish, a little bit awkward, but anyways, I hope to get used to that. Sitting here in my driveway, and it's probably a few weeks before we take off, 3 weeks I think, before we take off on our trip. But I wanted to put this video together. I've been asked a lot of questions on my social media sites in regards to what I'm bringing for tools and parts and pieces. So I thought I'd just put this video together really quickly. Not going to go into product details, but I will tell you what I'm bringing. And I would really like anybody's opinion or stories of what they've used, what's worked, what hasn't worked. I do appreciate that, and hopefully you enjoy this first video. Hopefully we do get a whole lot better as we produce our videos once we're on the road. Thank you very much. Hello everyone. Since my wife and I announced that we are taking this trip to South America from Vancouver, Canada, I've received a lot of questions on our social media site in regards to what we're bringing on a bike. One bike, 2 people for the next year and a half. I thought I would just produce this quick little video and just show what I'm bringing as far as tools and material and any other equipment I need to try to keep this bike running for the next couple years. I'll produce a different video in regards to our camping gear, tents, sleeping pads, pillows, etc., our kitchen. Maybe we'll take a look at making another video for that. But for now, I thought I would just do a quick video showing what we're bringing, or what I'm bringing for tools. So what I've gone with is the Moscow Moto Fatty Tool Roll. It's pretty robust, has a lot of storage, and so far pretty happy with it for the last year or so. So on the outside we have just a couple quick items we can get at. Some spoons for changing tires, flats, also some sockets, some inserts that came with it. Roll it out, and again, I'd love everybody's feedback in regards to what they use, what they don't use, what I should bring, what I shouldn't bring. I'm always willing to learn a few new tricks. So of course I just bring some shop rags, or some towels, a couple sets of gloves if I actually have to really get down and get dirty. Let's see, in this first part I just bring the open end wrenches, sockets. Of course, try to make them ratchet style flex head. Makes things a little easier to get into the bike in some of the tight areas. And I'm trying to keep this very light, very minimalized. 2 people on a bike, it's amazed me how much gear and how much weight we carry. So, you know, I've got the right open end wrenches, box end, ratchet end wrenches. I cut down hacksaw just with a makeshift handle on it, so if I do have to cut anything off, I do have that ability. Small crescent wrench, small pliers, very important, please. And also, if we ever sink the bike, we can pull the spark plugs out. Very important tool to have on these KTMs. They're a real bugger to get at sometimes. In here, I keep majority of small knickknacks, some Loctite, spare link, some different types of wire, some electrical tape, just small knickknacks in there. On this side is just generally for any flats, patches, glue, plugs. So right now we're running a tubeless system on front and back, but as everybody might know about KTM, rims are butter, and I go through these rims quite a bit and constantly bend them, have to bend them back. And then sometimes I just give up trying to make a seal on them and just put a tube in it. But right now I'm starting off tubeless. In here I keep chain brake. I rode up to the Arctic Circle this fall and had some chain drive issues, and this little device could have saved my trip. Unfortunately I didn't have it with me, so I do now. In here I have assortment of sockets and other items, all down to a 1/4 inch drive, just to try to save on some weight. If it goes up to a 3/8, I just have an adapter. This side, these are the sockets that go into my spoons, so if I need a 22 or a 27, it's there. A couple sets of Allen keys for everything that fits the bike, and then just an assortment of Torques and screwdrivers. So again, trying to keep this pretty minimal. We'll move this over. That's pretty much it for the tool roll. Okay, let's see, parts and pieces. This is my compressor, used many of times. I've removed the case, just try to save some weight and some room. Bought this online, Slime. I've had it for about 4 or 5 years, and like I said, I've used it more times than I would like to. So I'll just wrap it in a rag to try to save on some space, and this will actually go under the seat of our 1290. Okay, some chain paste. I actually have never used this. I usually use chain wax, but I don't want to bring extra cans, so I thought this with a brush would be a more economical and sensible way of taking care of our chain. Next would be some tie irons. Of course, I got the bead brakes, and I won't untape them. And then one extra tire spoon, because I do have the 2 orange spoons that I bought, and they're in my fatty roll. Of course, a couple extra oil filters. I just don't want to be caught somewhere where I can't find the correct oil filters. I've always used the K&N filters, the KN 650s. Some people say no, some people say yes. I run a lot of KTMs. I've done a lot of ventures with them, and they've never let me down so far. Let's see, this is just an assortment of nuts, washers, screws, bolts, everything that you think you might need, things that break off, vibrate off. We know these bikes are big thumpers and they vibrate. So assortment screws, and hopefully I don't have to use them too much. In here, there's a whole other level of assortment of stuff to keep the bike going. These are just some Moscow clips for my soft bags that I seem to always brush up against things and break them off. Maybe one day I'll learn. Of course, we've got some high heat resistant plastic bonding weld. I think that's probably seen its better days. And yeah, maybe I'll get a new tent repair kit for our tent. I just keep it in there. So hopefully we don't have to use that too much. More gloves. Always like having extra gloves. Tow strap. Always good. I've had to tow a few friends out of the bush. Knock on wood. It's not me being towed. Just a little bit of tube if we have to siphon some gas, if we find ourselves in a situation. Tie straps. You can never have enough tie straps. Always tie straps. Just a little bit of duct tape, just wrapped up around the battery actually. Just some duct tape in case we need to tape anything back onto the bike or our bodies. Another chain link, master link, more tape. And then a little bit more Permalock for any screws that seem to be rattling out. And then here I've just got an assortment of tire patch repairs, some JB weld in case we break anything off. So everything, a couple extra clips for straps. Try to keep that in there, keep it tight. And then one last thing is, I'm a little bit concerned about this, but trying to, when you break a bead, and you're trying to get it back on, our little compressors obviously can't get the bead to set. Now in the shop or at home, I don't recommend doing this. I do it quite a bit. I'm just lazy enough that I can just spray a couple shots of liquid fire in there and blow the bead back on to the rim. Very nervous about bringing this. Would like people's opinion on this. I don't want this on the bike, to be honest with you. I don't get too concerned when it's just me, but when I have my wife on the back, it makes me a little nervous. So again, any input would be greatly appreciated. So that's about it for what I'm bringing to support this bike. Well, hopefully you found that video a little bit helpful. Feel free to leave some comments, the tips and tricks that you use. Hit the subscribe button, bell notification, and maybe even a thumbs up. Thanks a lot.